Hi everyone, welcome back. Hope you're all good. So today I'm going to be repotting my field maple. So this was a volunteer tree. It just sprang up in one of my flower pots. It's about 3 years old now, and I haven't done any major work on it other than pruning the top. Haven't touched the root system. So yeah, I fully expect to have to remove a fair amount of the roots today. But I want to get it done now before it gets too old, because the longer I leave it, the worse it's going to get. So I'll bring you in and show you the tree, and then we'll get started. So this is the tree, field maple, 3 years old more or less, and all I've done is prune the top. It got knocked off my bench earlier on, or later last year, so I slip potted it into here, and I can already see that the roots are pretty bad. So I'm fully expecting to have to remove a fair amount of roots. I did put a couple of cuttings in here, so they're probably not rooted, so I probably just pulled them out and put them back in somewhere. But we pruned it a little while ago. I did a video on that, and I left the top long, but all I've done since then is just cut that back. So it's just in a flower pot. It's been growing for about 3 years or so. What on earth is that? Don't know what that is. Anyway, so we'll get it out, we'll have a look, we'll give it a root prune, and we'll get it into a shallower pot. I've got a washing up bowl which I've drilled some holes in, which I think I'm going to put it in. So I'll set you back up on the tripod and we'll make a start. Okay, so let's get it out of the pot. Didn't expect that many roots. Like I said, I've slip potted it into here, so all I'm going to do is break away the soil, expose the roots, probably bare root it, and see if we can sort the roots out a bit. I've had to put my jumper up on top of the greenhouse to give the camera some shade, because it does overheat if it's in the sun. And I've got a little cutting in here. I don't think it's rooted. No. But what I will do is just poke that in another pot, because it may well root. I think they do grow quite easily from cuttings. So we'll just chip away at this soil. It's quite loose. Loose gritty mix. So I want to bare root it and prune off any problem roots that we've got in here, which is probably going to be quite bad because it was a seedling and I haven't done any root work on it yet. So what I think I'm going to do with all my seedlings from now on, the first year I'm going to get the roots sorted as soon as I can. So I'll probably have to remove basically all the roots, so not all of them, but a fair amount of them. So hopefully the tree will survive, but the longer I leave it, the worse it's going to get. So I won't be too disappointed if it dies now, but if I leave it more years, the older it gets, the better the top gets, the more disappointed I'll be if I don't get the roots sorted. And then I have to do some really major root work and the tree dies. So you've seen me do this loads of times probably. Just chipping away at the soil, trying to get the tree bare rooted. So field maples are quite nice trees. I'm not sure where this came from. It's sprouted in a pot, but we haven't got any field maples around here. I've not seen a single one, so within miles of our house, so I have no idea where the seed came from. I've got a habit of collecting seeds and just putting them places, so maybe that's what happened. I'm not sure. But it was a nice surprise anyway, because I do like the field maples. Acer Campestre or something, I think they're called. It's basically the poor man's trident maple. But it's actually our only native maple in the UK, I think. All the other ones, like the sycamores and the Norway maples, are not native. But the field maple is native to the UK. So I'll keep going. Roots aren't active yet. They're quite fleshy, quite delicate roots, so I will break quite a few. The tree's just, the buds are just swelling, so perfect time now to repot it. So, like I said, they grow from cuttings as far as I'm aware, and they also send up root suckers. So, even if I do basically cut them all off, the tree should survive. There's no guarantees, but as long as I leave some roots, I'm sure it'll survive. It'll just be like a cutting, and we won't have to remove them all. But there is some serious problems that I can see in here. So I'll carry on. I'll get all the soil off. I'll bring you in when I made a bit of progress and show you what's going on with the roots. Hopefully further down we might have some better roots. We've got the thick ones up here, but it's looking like down here they might be a bit better, so we can remove the top thick ones and any tap root that I come across, and we can use the smaller, more radial roots from further down. So we've got a big gap there and then two massive thick roots at the top. Anyway, I'll carry on. I'll bring you in a bit closer in a minute and show you a bit more detail of what I'm up to. Alright, so I'll show you the roots. Pretty bad. What can I do with these? Problem is, if I remove them top thick ones and use the root plane down here, I'm going to have this horrible bulge here. That root goes underneath and through that hole. So I might be able to drag that back out. So I haven't really decided yet. But if I do that, I can bury it deeper and hope that we get more roots. I'm not sure what I can do with these roots. There's two thick ones there which have twisted together. And down here the root plane's quite nice, but we'll have this bulge. So I might be able to cut it, sort of carve off that bit, or cut off the bottom and bury it deeper and hope that we get more roots this side. I'm not too sure yet, but I want to get all this soil off so we can have a better look. So I'll carry on and get back to you in a minute. Okay, so we're getting there now. Almost got all the soil out. So I've just been working away. So what I think I'm going to do is just start the root pruning. Not cut anything off completely yet. Just cut back all these. You can see where they've hit the edge and gone down and round. Got really thick and tangled. So we'll sort them out and then we'll see what we're left with. And then I'll decide what I'm going to do. So I'll bring you in a bit closer and we'll start the root pruning. Okay, so I've got my secateurs and on schedule my chickens just started crowing. So you can see there's all sorts going on here. I'm just going to cut it off where it starts going wrong. Just work away at the roots. Big thick ones down here. Not sure where they come from, but just going to start cutting them back. And these ones, I'm just going to cut through these, pull them out. No one till these. Be able to see a lot better what I'm doing once we've got rid of some of these. There's another thick problem on there. It's probably one of the worst root systems I've seen on one of my trees. It's just because I haven't done anything to it since it's grown from a seed. Okay, so that's got rid of that lot. Now we can have a bit of a better look at the tree. Get some more of this soil out of here. This thick one here, we're not going to want like that, so this one here. That's gone. There's another one there which goes round the back under. Cut that off. One underneath which goes straight down and then out and then all around the place. That's coming off. Okay, so I'm going to take it over and wash it now. We can have a better look. Get some more of the soil out of here. So you won't be left with a huge amount of roots by the looks of it, but I am confident there's enough for the tree to survive. So we'll take it over and give it a wash. Just make sure the roots stay wet as well. So there's what we've got left. It might not be too bad. I might just plant it like that a bit deeper and hope that we get some more roots growing out the opposite side of them two thick ones. Maybe remove one of them, the higher one. See if I can pull that one back through that's gone underneath. We've already removed way over 50%, but the tree should be fine. So I'll just take it out and give it a little wash. I'm running really low on rainwater now. It hasn't rained here we haven't had any proper rain for about 3 weeks now. Which is very unusual for Wales in the UK. All winter's been absolutely soggy. And all of a sudden it's just dried up completely. Even the ground's starting to crack. So my original thought was to get rid of the thick ones at the top and use these bottom ones. But if I did that, I'm left with a bulge, which I could carve at a later date or just trim off as close as I can for now. That bit of the trunk will thicken in time, but I'm not sure yet. I'll have a little think, have a little tidy up. I'll leave it in my bucket of water down there for now, and I'll come back to it once I've had a think and we'll decide what we're going to do. Okay, so I've had a think. I think them top two thick ones have got to go. They're out of proportion, they're twisting around each other. So I think I'm going to take them off and just hope the tree survives. So here goes nothing. I'll come back in, get a bit closer to the trunk in a minute. So we've got this one here which wraps around underneath. It was underneath, it's not now. because they're gone. So I'll try and pull that back out this side. And then the only other bit I'm going to do is underneath here. There's a really thick one. I'm just going to cut it back a bit. Maybe you can see. It's a really thick. Was the taproot by the looks of it. Look at that. It's almost as thick as the trunk. So that's gone. And the rest I'm going to leave. I'm going to see if I can get these a bit closer to the trunk. I need some sort of other tool which I can do this with. I think that's about all I can do for now for that tree. I could take off a couple more up here. This one and this one, but I think I'm going to leave them and bury that up to about there. Wait for the tree to revive and then come back to it next year. Now that we've not got these roots, more roots should grow. And we can do some more work next year on it. Get rid of these and use this lower root plane. Hopefully that thinner bit underneath will thicken eventually. So I could do that now, but I think I'm pushing my luck already. So that's all I'm going to do. Bury it up to just about where I've cut it. And hope that we get more roots coming out this side. Then next year we can move them too, and it will actually give the trunk a bit more movement as well. Once it all evens out, this thin bit hopefully will thicken. But for now I think that's all I can do. So I'll go find the pot. I'm being very careful not to let this dry out at the moment because it's really hot in the greenhouse today. So it's going back in the water. And I'll go find the pot, get the pot ready, clean up again, and then get back to you. So this is what I'm going to plant it in. This is a washing up bowl. I've drilled some holes in the bottom. It's quite flat on the bottom, so I've also put some holes higher up, just in case it gets completely blocked, and at least they can drain out the side. But it's just a washing up bowl. There's only £1. It's the cheapest way I can think of getting a bonsai training pot is to use washing up bowls. I know it's really big, but you'll be surprised how fast the field maples grow, and I'm sure it will fill this pot easily by the end of the year. So it should look quite nice in there for now anyway. I'm running low on my decent soil. So I've probably only got enough left to fill about half of that. So I'm gonna go scrape some off the garden, off my veg bed. There's a load of old compost and chicken manure in there anyway, so that's good for the tree. So I'll fill this up about halfway with that, and then I'll use my gritty compost mix for the rest. So I'll go do that. Okay. So I've actually just used the soil that it was in before, just taking all the roots out. And I've just mounded up in the middle as usual. Get the tree out of the water. That's what we're left with. So when I plant it, I'm going to make sure the roots go out. And then I'll press it down into the mound that I made. Comb the roots out radially. Make sure they're flowing downwards. That should be good. A couple of them I might need to pin. Put some soil on top and then press them in to make sure they go the right way. planting angle looks pretty good. I'm not too fussed. So it's going straight, just vertical in the pot for now. This is my mixed up stuff. This is decent compost with horticultural grit. I'm just filling in now. There's that root there which I want to move around, so hold it where it goes and then press the soil on top of it to pin it where I want it. I have often wondered if anyone's ever wired roots to get them to go where they want. I've thought about it a few times. Or pinned them with like some sort of staple thing or something, I don't know. Oh, I must have tried it at some point. Especially with the small roots, if they're still really flexible, I don't see why I can't move them around. So just press the soil in between the roots now, make sure there's no air pockets as usual. We haven't got that many roots on the tree anyway, so there shouldn't be any gaps. If there was, then use chopstick or something to make sure you fill in all the air pockets. Because the roots won't grow through the air pockets. If there's an air pocket, it'll be like a dead zone. Carry on filling that up, and then I'll get a couple of rocks to place around the tree. And don't forget to give it a good water. I'm going to protect it in the greenhouse from now on until it's recovered fully as well, so it won't be exposed to any frost from now on, or wind. It'll be nice and humid in here. So if you haven't got the facilities to protect your trees, you may want to do your root work more like a little bit at a time, not removing any more than, say, about half, I would say, or a third. I think you get away with half. If you removed half the roots and it frosted over, I'm sure it would still be fine. But a third to half if you haven't got a greenhouse. If you have got a greenhouse and you can keep it in perfect conditions, then you can get away with a lot more. And also depends on what the tree is, because this is a field maple, grows well from cuttings and root suckers anyway, so it doesn't really matter what I do. I could probably cut off all the roots and poke it in and it'd probably be fine. So last but not least, good water. I'll water this again later as well. Fully saturate the soil, let it drain through, give it a little bit of time, and then re-water it, and then keep it well watered for the next couple of weeks till we start seeing some growth, till the growth starts properly growing, not just the leaves coming out, but till we start seeing the branches start extending. Then we know that the tree's recovered. So I'm going to get a couple of rocks to place around it just to pin everything down and stop as much evaporation from the soil. So I'll go find some nice rocks. I've been down to the little stream and collected some more, so I'll go find a couple of good ones and bring them back. Right, so I've got some rocks here. These are just like river rocks from, we've got a stream that runs through our property. This one also almost looks like it's got some sort of fossils on it. Bring you in a minute and show you. So I'll just place them around the trunk on top of where the roots are. Nice flat ones if you can find them. Holds in some moisture. Pins the roots down in case the tree gets knocked or something. If it's just started growing the roots and it gets knocked, you could break the roots. So this should just pin everything in place. I'll refill my little watering can and then I'll give it another water. And then I'll bring you in and show you the tree. Right, so it's been sat for about 20 minutes now. I'm gonna give it a nice big water now. Till the soil, till the water starts coming out the bottom. Let it soak in. And then I'll just leave it in the greenhouse. Okay, so there's my field maple all potted up. We did some major root surgery on it today. It should survive. This is that rock I was talking about. Not sure what's going on there. That's kind of cool looking rock. So there's the tree. Just starting to sprout. Buds are swelling. So hopefully it will survive, I'm sure it will. I'll show you a couple of the ones which we did recently. I'm not sure if I showed you all my Japanese maples, but I've been repotting all these seedlings and they're all coming out to leaf now. A couple of little wisteria seedlings in here as well. There's the juniper we did the other day, which I spent the whole video calling a spruce or a pythia. That's because I've got one which looks almost the same, which actually is a spruce, and it was a little Christmas tree. I think this one was as well, I'm not sure anyway. But actually it's greened up a lot since doing all that root work. So fingers crossed that will survive. There's the Japanese maple we did as well. Leaves are coming out on that, and I've pruned these branches back a little bit more. The two which were here, just so they don't compete with the leader. And I'm going to decide at some point whether to keep both of these top ones or chop one off. And the little forest that we did is down there, they're all coming out to leaf. Can't really get you in there to show you. So that's good. Haven't showed you all these. There's the little Japanese maple seedling that we put in my little pot. All starting to leaf out now, except for the top. So if the top dies, we'll just cut it back to that, and it'll be quite a nice little tree. Got some other cuttings and stuff going on here. Flamingo willow and olive cuttings. That's a little hornbeam. I repotted that and I didn't show you. I wish I did, but I have got another one. So if you're interested, let me know and I'll do a video on repotting my other little hornbeam tree. So yeah, everything's looking good. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you're all good. I hope you're all doing great. Hope your trees are doing good if you grow trees. I'm not sure if you do or if you just like watching videos. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one, guys.